So I guess now the news media will pontificate on the sentencing. Judge sentences former president to unconditional discharge. Remember, I said the privilege, especially the white privilege of the wealthy. What if everyone in this country could automatically escalate their cases all the way up to the Supreme Court and get fresh eyes on what's being done in some of these small counties and states? So, an unconditional, nothing, doesn't have to pay anything, doesn't have to do anything. Um, and poor Michael Cohen went to jail for the same thing. You can't make this stuff up. You just can't. So now, one of the suddenlies for Friday, last night, the final suddenly was the Supreme Court saying no, that the sentencing would go forward. Now, so every time from the highest level, there's either a reprieve or they actually do what's right. So when you're in the doing what's right, sometimes that'll cost you. That's the hard part about doing what's right. I always was a person, I told my own truth. I remember years ago, because I did pageants and stuff like that when I was younger and slimmer, just saying. And I did this pageant because I made money. It would give me money for my education. Um, I didn't borrow a lot of money until my master's. But, and I entered this pageant and I was maybe just a mile or two outside of the county and not fully qualified to be in the pageant. I wasn't worried about that. I wanted to make sure I paid for my books and the things that I needed to pay for. I entered the pageant. A dear friend, always allowed me to use her gowns and stuff like that. I didn't have money to buy gowns, so I would borrow them. Took makeup classes, learned to do my own makeup. And when I won, I was like, oh snap, I won. I actually won. And another friend who managed young ladies that did pageants and did things like that, he called and he had an event. He wanted me to go sing. Back then, my voice was in top condition for singing. I could do dancing. I did a lot of things. And, well, not that type of dancing. No, Charlotte Pastor Caldwell did not do that type of dancing. But, um, and I remember because I worked for a mortgage company at the time, and I just thought, I'm going to only have Saturday to get clothes washed, to do this, to do that. And it just, if he had called me maybe 2 or 3 weeks before, it was out of the blue, it was Thursday or Friday. And I said, I'm not going to be able to do that. And then I was pinching pennies. It was going to cost me gas money, what he was offering to pay. I don't even know if he was offering to pay me anything. Um, but he wanted the newly crowned queen in the state to come to this event and to sing. And I said no. And he said, because he knew my truth. This is why I said, be at peace with your truth. He said, if you do not go do this event, I will call the JCs, the people over the pageant I had just won, and I will tell them that you illegally won the pageant because you live a smidge outside of the county too far to really be eligible to be in that pageant. He said, so you're going to sing tomorrow? I said, no, I'm not. I said, let me call you back. I hung up the phone, took it right back up, called the president that was over the event. And I said, you need to know this. It's been less than a week since I won, but you need to know that I'm just a smidge outside of the county. And for some, that may mean that I'm not legally the one to represent your city in the state pageant. He says, Charlotte, we already knew that. We wanted you to represent us in the state pageant. He said, you're okay. You're quite all right. And I said, well, I just wanted to be honest with you. I don't want to do anything that would hurt my name, because I do understand a good name is better to be had sometimes than money. And when I got off the phone with him, I called old boy back. I said, look, there's no need for you to call, because I just spoke to so and so and I told them myself. He said, what? You did what? I told on myself. He did not know what to do. He said, she's crazy. Stay right there. I'm with James Brown. I don't do karate, but I sure do crazy. hmm I never had that issue again. I was at peace with my truth. And at that time, I was too young and dumb to know that that's what I was doing. I never allowed anyone to threaten me with my truth. And some people spend a lifetime hiding from the truth of who they really are, how they really are, and what they really are. And eventually, no matter what, you can't outrun yourself, because everywhere you go, you're standing in yourself. You're standing right in yourself. And you have to come to a moment of peace with yourself and the truth about yourself. As I shared the other week in the writings of Enoch, he encountered a realm, an entire realm that was peace and truth, and they held hands. It's where they had kind of married together. That day, I had peace with my truth, and I told my truth. No matter what the outcome, see, the outcome could have been different. They could have said, yeah, we're going to disqualify you, turn your crown in. We will not be cutting you a check to your school. They could have done all of that. And that's what I risked, telling my truth. But telling my truth, because it was married to peace, gave me peace. Nobody was going to pull me around by my nose and make me do anything. What a sad state of being if you're getting pulled from one side to the other because you won't live in your truth and you won't have peace with your truth. That's a misuse of your nephesh, your soul. That's why some people start looking old early. They misuse their soul. Just tell the truth. Because no matter what, it usually gets drug out in some way. It's a little easier if you tell it yourself. Just saying.